One of the most melancholy songs of 1972 was this #1 single. We will inform you of the one that will be covered in the rock music history lesson. I must acknowledge my dear friend David Summers, who is among the best voice actors. In fact, Dave recommended that I do today's video. You can find his contact details in the description box below if you require his services. Born in Ireland, Raymond O'Sullivan later went by Gilbert as his theatrical name. He was encouraged to pursue a career in music after his family relocated to Great Britain when he was a small boy and he discovered that he had a gift for playing the piano. Being signed to a label run by Gordon Mills, who also represented musicians like Engelbert Humperdinck and Tom Jones, was his first significant break. In contrast to those painters, O'Sullivan was a special addition to Mills' list because he wrote his own tunes. Mills was unable to convince O'Sullivan to alter his conventional manner, despite encouraging him to write more songs. However, that didn't stop him from being very successful in the UK very rapidly. With O'Sullivan's powerful piano playing and mellow vocals, his 1970 single Nothing Rhymed quickly reached the UK top 10. He didn't have any major songs in America from his debut album himself, 1971, although it did make it to the UK top 10. O'Sullivan had the momentum he needed to make a name for himself in the field because to this achievement. With Alone Again, Naturally, which peaked at #1 in the US in 1972, he accomplished that. One of the saddest songs ever is Alone Again, Naturally. It relates the heartbreaking tale of a suicidal, lonely guy who was abandoned at the altar. Many listeners find great resonance in the song, those who are depressed can identify with the lyrics, and others are encouraged to be grateful for what they have. What is causing him to feel this way? In the final section, when things become even more tragic, the narrator returns to his own experience after revealing in the second stanza that being stranded at the altar eradicates all faith. The narrator uses the bridge to show he understands what others are going through. After his father dies, a series of events culminates in the death of his mother as well. According to Gilbert O'Sullivan, this song isn't about him or his father dying when he was a child. O'Sullivan quotes, "Everyone is curious as to whether the song is autobiographical, given my father's untimely passing. The truth is that my father wasn't a decent father in the first place, and I didn't know him well. My mother wasn't treated well by him." O'Sullivan discussed the composition process of this song in an interview with Songfacts. "When I was 22 years old, I wrote Alone Again together with 2 other songs. I could only write after work in the evenings because I had worked as a postal clerk in London. Gordon Mills, who oversaw me, let me leave my work and move into his bungalow, where I could write every day. Alone Again was only one of the songs I had created when I was in writing mode. Although I was rather happy and satisfied with it, I didn't think it was any more noteworthy than previous tunes. Let's just say that I was content." Once more Alone Naturally, for 6 weeks in 1972, it remained at the top. After that, O'Sullivan had 3 further hits, Get Down in 1973 and Claire and Out of the Question in 1972. Thank you for viewing this lesson about the history of rock music.